Welcome to Wide Angle Conversations DEI Talks. I'm your host, Taruna Aggarwal. I started Wide Angle Conversations back in 2019, and as with everything, it has been evolving over the years, coming to a point today where I want to bring to you the silent heroes who are contributing immensely towards building an inclusive world and are impacting positive change in their own ways. I myself am an executive coach and a life coach, and my passion is to empower youth and young adults with a mental fitness level that will help them to navigate life and impact positive change for the well being of our people and our planet. Coaching, I believe, is a powerful tool and must be recognized as a profession that can support mental well being and perhaps help prevent mental health issues. I'm in conversation today with Fida Muljono. Fida is based in Jakarta, Indonesia. She is actually also committed to nurturing the mental well-being of younger generations, aiding them in building their true selves. Fida is a parenting and intercultural coach with a rich background in psychology and anthropology. She has dedicated 3 decades to transformative work in her field. Fida recognizes the pivotal role of mental health in an ever-evolving world and has become a beam of support for individuals navigating these unavoidable changes. Her expertise extends to working with teens and young adults, both individually and within diverse settings such as schools, institutions, and companies. Simultaneously, she is also empowering adults, reinforcing their resilience and guiding them towards becoming robust individuals in the face of life's challenges. In today's podcast, we are going to talk about the distortion of reality among the youth from teens to their 30s and how it impacts their mental health and well-being, especially in today's time where mental health issues have reached a critical tipping point because of many factors, which we will talk about, but like the pandemic and the technology outburst and the environment in which we are living today, our world has become the acronym that we use now is Barney world, which is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and in many ways incomprehensible. This conversation is relevant for youth, their parents, schools, organizations, coaches, and paraprofessionals supporting mental well-being. Just to note here, you will find me referring to Fida as Ibu Fida or only Ibu. This is because it's a cultural nuance. I lived in Indonesia for 5 years and have imbibed certain values. And one of them is to respectfully call someone older and more respected with the words Ibu. So that's how I'll be referring to Ibu. Hi, Ibu Fida. Welcome to Wide Angle Conversations.
Hi, Taruna. How are you?
I'm good, Ibu. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation. It's a very important conversation. And I think both of us share the passion, I believe, in a way. And while in Indonesia, we also did some seminars for parents on intercultural workshops in the school. So I remember and hold those memories really fondly. Yes. Yes, Ibu. So we'll start with our conversation today. For many, the distortion of reality may be a new term, as it for me also, I knew just a little bit about it. So I'd ask you to actually just give us, as to tell us about what actually is distortion of reality from the psychology point of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad that you invited me in this podcast because this problem, distortion of reality, I face it almost when I deal with the teens and the young adult until 30 when doing my practice as coach. This touch the subject or topics of mental health. You know that mental health is becoming important role plays in the achieving a global development goals in WHO. It's a huge concern because it's accelerated after the COVID 2 years or 3 years COVID, yeah. And I think your topics today, it's concerned me also.
It definitely is something which we need to talk about, I think, and create awareness around, and that's the only way that one can tackle a situation like this, that severe. And as we were also talking, I think there is also like the psychologists, counselors, therapists. There's also, there's a dearth. They are not enough to deal with this rising percentage of people with mental health issues, and everybody does need that support. So I totally, believe that the policymakers, government, everybody needs to look at paraprofessionals. Life coaches and coaches are one of them. To include them in the equation to be able to support this huge issue that we are facing. So thank you, Ibu, for your time to come in and talk to us about this. So what is distortion of reality?
The distortion of reality, it's a term that describes the ways that we or people perceive and interpret the world inaccurate or really biased. I don't. I will make two points in this. We are not talking about the distortion of a reality in a mental disorder like schizophrenia, schizoaffective, schizoid person. We don't talk about this. I talk about the distortion of reality in general, in more general and based that touch the young people today.
Yeah.
And the second point is that there is two topics that concern me and maybe you too. There is a distortion of reality and a cognitive distortion, which is completely different. The distortion of reality touch the perception and interpretation that people have. The cognitive distortion touch the way they think.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is two different kind of subject which is related, but we need to also understand what is distortion of reality and what is the cognitive distortion. And the cognitive distortion has a huge list, and sometimes, well, most of the time, people doesn't even realize this. That we don't call it yet the distortion of reality until a certain age. For example, a child who believe about the Santa Claus or who believe that there is a fairy that guard us, it's normal until about 8, 9, and then they will change, of course, and then they are facing this reality with a painful manner, because sometimes the children said, "Oh, this is only the fantasy," or something like that. But if until 14, they still believe about the fairy tales, the reality of the fairy tales, or the reality of Santa Claus, that will be a problem.
That starts to become a problem then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And And of course, they try to this young people try to not believe, and then they will hide it. But I found some of my client just live unconsciously in this distortion. That
Mm-hmm.
so now we talk about the distortion
Yeah.
because sometimes, like for example, I had this girls, this young person who a young girl, a very bright, very beautiful. She was 28, and she came to me and complaining about the unsuccessful relationship with the boys, with people, and so we talk about this, and I discover that she still live in this kind of sleeping beauty fairy tales. I told her that you are waiting for a Prince Charming to
Mm.
wake you up, and then you will live happily ever after. It is not like that. And then, of
Right.
course, this reality touched her so badly.
Mm.
She complained that she was mad at me, but after that, 1 year after, she said to me,
Mm-hmm.
well, I found my charming prince, and they had a good relationship, and now she has 3 children.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a beautiful story. This is a beautiful story because this young girl has courage to seek help.
Uh-huh.
She didn't know what happens to her.
Hmm.
Why it's always unsuccessful relationship.
Uh-huh.
So, but it is in unconsciously she still nurtured this kind of fairy tales life.
Hmm. She nurtured that, and good for her. She found the Mr. Right, the Prince Charming. But yes, I know what you're saying. Sometimes, you kind of live in that, and without even realizing that,
Yeah,
and sometimes things may work out, sometimes they may not, and then
yeah.
that leads to another whole thing. And as you're saying, this is so prevalent today amongst the young. I don't know. I have a daughter who's a millennial, 28, and sometimes she talks to me about, some of the friends not really living. They take life as a, just as play. They don't realize. So these were her words. She said that sometimes some of the people that she talks to now, they seem to be just taking life as, everything will work out and we don't have to do anything, all those kind
Yeah.
of things. And they go through life with in that kind of an inertia. So do you also see that amongst the young,
Oh yeah, really. That's why I'm glad that you put it up, this topic,
Hmm.
because I in my practice with the young people, they were just lost and they don't understand why it happens to them.
Hmm.
They seems like, well, I have a problem, but if I just sleep and tomorrow it will be gone. Well, this is also the things that
Yeah.
reality, right? For example, with the young people, if they don't put effort in their work,
Hmm.
in their job, they have a job in a company. They were amazed that they didn't have been promoted for several years, something like that, and then of course they were feeling frustrated, like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I asked, did you make effort, a huge effort at your to do
Hmm.
your job? And then they said, I just do whatever people ask me to do, you know
Hmm.
and then in a passive way. And of course, the result of this, it's also so, right? And
True.
in this competitive world, we need to prove that we can do, just like thinking of the box or action of out of the box, something like that. So
Yeah.
without effort, without making effort, they just
Hmm.
feel that, oh, I'm going to get promoted that way.
Yeah.
No, it's also the distortion of reality, that if
Hmm.
I sleep, tomorrow the problem will be gone.
Yeah.
Not.
They actually is causing it. Why is this distortion becoming increasingly relevant in this age and time of the
Okay.
children in with the young generation?
The reason of this are numerous, but I'm going to put just four important one
Mm-hmm.
in this topic. Yeah, we cannot just discuss. We can
Yeah.
discuss for 4 hours in this, but I
True.
just want to explain about the four important reason. One is their belief system. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
belief system is touch the morality, life purpose, empirical
Okay.
reality. So what they believe, sometimes it is not the real reality. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I believe that if I put my blue T-shirt, people will be gentle with me. This is,
Okay. Yeah.
or I will attract handsome people or rich people. This is the system of belief. And the second of that is culture. Culture
Mm-hmm.
play a lot of their perception about this world. The third reason is the parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Parents used to nurture, especially now when both parents work, they don't have time to spend with the children. So what did they do? They compensated with material things, with money,
Mm.
with whatever they want.
Yeah.
So this is the parenting. The parents used to buy their guilty feeling by
Mm.
giving to the children. So the children said, "Oh, I deserve it," and
Yeah.
are they are going to develop some kinds like um, the attitude of take it for granted.
Mm. Yeah.
So if I want something,
Mm.
I'm going to ask my mom or my dad, and it's going to come in, you know,
Yes.
and they were frustrated, they were sad, they were angry when they comes to adult life. They ask, boss, can you buy me a car, because, and then the boss said, what? So
Yeah.
something like that, so and recently I have also a 20 years young man who was frustrated because they said that every time I ask to my boss whether I can have a leave, you
Mm.
know, I want to go with my parents to holiday, and my boss just refuse it. Why? Why my boss refused? I want to take a 2 days leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that. It's amazing. It's just
Yeah.
like a joke, but it's happened.
I agree with you. There's that. I think, yeah, and parenting to a very, very large extent has to do with it. There is that a sense of entitlement. Even the fact that, okay, you don't want to go back to working full time, you want to work from home. They're really skipping jobs. They're moving very fast
Mhm.
from one job to the other, a little bit of a thing, and they move
Yes.
also. Well, yes, of course. The thing is, the environment is also very volatile right now. Organizations are also cutting people left, right, and center. But then, from what I have experienced, also is that the young are like, it's okay if I don't have that job, it's fine,
Yeah.
and they
Mhm.
take it very, very light-hearted, which I don't know, maybe even a better way of dealing with things. don't, don't really know, but yes, that definitely is happening, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. And
And the second, the fourth, this is the fourth important reason. It's now with the huge technology, development. So the environment make them, they cannot just they cannot differentiate between what is fake and what is real.
hmm.
Too much information. They don't have time. They don't have time to check it. They don't have this critical thinking. They don't have or they just lazy to check it whether this is real or not. They just read something and then they just send it to the friends, and then it's moving like that, but they
Hmm.
don't check the reality of
Yeah.
the contents or the image or everything. This is the huge problem actually in this era.
Hmm. Absolutely. Technology, social media, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it is, I think, impacting a lot of that. There are we even have these the addiction either to gaming or to social media, and as you were mentioning earlier, that it's a way of maybe like just going on scrolling and buying things on online is a way of kind of just maybe moving away from the reality, shifting into a make believe world. Just scroll, just go and buy. It's maybe a way to hide the emotions as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was watching a documentary which was totally about this. It was about this girl who was addicted to shopping. So she would just
Mhm.
scroll, shop, 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 and she became at one point, because she was having conversations with the people to seeking help. She said, I am able to notice that when I'm anxious, I scroll faster and I buy more, right?
Mhm.
So yes, that it's very real, this the impact of technology and the impact of the social media on some people even seek validation out of I mean
Yeah.
social.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. By posting those kind of pictures, by posting pictures, looking wanting the likes. If those likes don't come, that causes anxiety, that causes a whole lot of issues. And this that I to me that I think is a big time distortion.
Yes. you know for example, someone told me, why I cannot be like the how do you say this celebrity Kardashian. Life is so beautiful, something like that. So
Yeah,
I want to be like that. So yeah, just make an effort. It's not going to magically come to it, but they
thanks.
really believe that, and then they get frustrated because
Yeah,
of this distortion. The Kardashian family, maybe they work a lot before, but
yeah,
there is a gap between this, what they see
yeah.
and what is the reality, what they
Hmm.
perceive, and the real
What they
background
perceive.
behind what is in front, the perception things.
Yeah. True, true. The social media thing is huge, and they actually tend to look. So I think that tendency of, okay, it will happen or it will work out, that probably comes from also that on the the social media, when we see the good life, everything sparkly and everything glamorous. I mean, I tend to be impacted by that also and think, okay, it'll happen for me also. And when that doesn't happen, because it doesn't show the hard work or whatever else has gone behind it, then there is like that frustration, that anxiety, that, oh, and that takes different kind of forms, I think, um, of cyberbullying and everything. You form those fake profiles and start trolling others.
Mm.
So right, so it is it's the belief system, the culture, the parenting, and then also the technology, which is playing a major part in the distortion
Yeah.
of reality amongst the young right now.
Yeah, this is the fourth important topic, reason. Yeah, but of course there is also other reasons like economic situation or
Yeah,
everything. But we just discussed this for a
yeah,
reason
right.
in
Yes,
here.
right. Let's talk about how it actually, this distortion actually impacts the cognition or cognitive behaviors of the individual.
In this distortion of reality, I want to maybe to terminate this with the risk of this distortion of reality.
Mm-hmm.
As I see that there is a dependency, financial about money. Young people said that they have no clue about the value of the money. You know, they maybe, for example, their salary is 10 million rupiah in Indonesia. They tend to buy a shoes which is for 4 million. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
they forget about their
Mm.
life, something like that. You know, this is also this is the risk. This is the impact of distortion of reality, and also the dependency of emotional dependency. Emotional
Mm.
dependency is um, you know for example, they will afraid of taking the risk and responsibility. They
Mm.
just throw it away because uh, um, because of this dependency. I don't want to get hurt,
Yeah.
so I avoid the things which is difficult.
Mm.
Instead of learning it and have a skill to resolve all this problem, or taking the risk, which is a huge uh, courage to do it, needs the courage to do it. Yeah. No.
Mm.
And of course, the second risk is excessive fear about the future, that's lead to, oh, I don't want to project something because the future is uncertain at this era, right? The
Mm.
world moves so fast. For example, our job as a coach, as coaches, didn't
Mm-hmm.
exist before 1996. you know
Yeah.
Before that we have still psychology, therapy, something like that, and then the coach profession coach arrived because of this kind of necessity, because the world changed too fast. Therapy needs to we needs to go back to to the past. Whether there is a
Mm.
trauma, whether there is the biological problem, something like that. But coach needs they will accompany client just
Mm.
to resolve one problem, one immediate problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the apparition of the coaching arrived because of the world moved too fast. We cannot just going back 20 years ago and then what about the problems today? So this is the part of our job. Yeah. And yeah, and the last one I wanted to talk is about this people who has distortion of reality, lack of life of skill. They don't have an ability to solve the problem, to regulate their emotion. They get mad, they get sad, and this will conduct to depression and a huge of anxiety. And the distortion of reality lead them also to use a substance, which is a magic things, because they forget for a moment. And this is really dangerous.
See, that emotional regulation, and that's not there. There are many causes that we have talked about, and parenting being one major one. And in terms of parenting, I think we are seeing two different ends of the spectrum in parenting, and both of them seem to be not really working. Either that very lenient one, giving up to everything that the child wants without asking or whatever. So that's happening a lot amongst parents nowadays, which is leading to that distortion, and perhaps then going and overspending, not being able to value money. Also feeling that, something somehow magically everything will work out because the parent has been doing that for so many years. The other end of the spectrum is when the parent is overbearing and too much of, you really need to do this, that. I mean, that's also what we are seeing in some of the cultures, and that also then kind of leads them away from, really being able to manage themselves the right way. So I think a lot of this onus is on parenting and also schools, and where there is no emphasis on mental fitness, no emphasis, people are not taught to understand themselves and the true selves, as you were talking about. So there is a role that the parents and the institutions have to play, and so how can, it is all looking like the situation is not so great. How can we support the young generation now?
Well, we can lead them to differentiate. It's really a simple one. When I deal with young people like this, I just check whether they really understand about the meaning of what is wrong and what is right. You check it just with the simple one. If you lie, is it wrong or is it right? Something like that. Sometimes they just come out from that. I lie because I don't want people get mad at me. Something like that. So you lie in purpose. Yes, I lie in purpose. Is this wrong or right? I don't think this is wrong. Something like that. Of course.
Yeah.
This is the checking. So we need to put the boundaries between right and wrong. And and then of course the second way to lead them to get out of this distortion is to talk to lead them to be open with the different perception of others. I have this kind of perception. What about yours? Young people think that their perception is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they close themselves into that. So our job is to put an openness to their, okay, you have a perception like this, but check with others. Does other have the same perception or not? And what about if their perception is not clear, it's not the same? Can you accept that? Something like that. And then the second thing is that we can jog them, or we can test them to see that the way, the manner to see things differently, to see from different angle, so they can perceive from different angle. When you are facing like this, you can see me with this face, but if you can see this, it's the way that how you are different or something like that, from different perception angle. So, and ask them to be creative, and creative is meaning that they have the habit to look for the proof of evidence. I believe this, or I perceive this, is there is a proof. So searching the scientific evidence as a habit. When I perceive this, I will check it. And then in this way is to also to put a skill of being alert, being aware. Maybe my perception is not correct.
That's the role of a coach, and that's what we do when we are talking to the people, to make them see different perspectives, making see from different angles, and be curious and creative about anything that they may be encountering or facing. Coaching is something which, if people are aware of or have experienced it, is something which can actually, and as you were sharing, is more about just being able to have those conversations with the young. Initially, maybe with a coach, and then finally teaching them to be able to really think about their thinking and really question themselves. That would, so that's the level of awareness that we need to bring them to.
The one of the most the first job of a coach is to bring up or bring out the awareness of our client. If we cannot move on if the awareness is still so I used to work very deep with the client, so they will aware of what happens to them, and understand why they have this kind of a perception.
And this conversation that we've had is so important, even for even for the coaches, even for myself, very really to be able to understand the place where the client is coming from. Sometimes we also start kind of, our biases also come into play now, but to have these kind of conversations where you understand, that there is this thing going on, that the young are going through this distortion, and it is impacting what they believe, it is impacting how they behave. When we have that awareness ourselves as a coach, then we are able to bring them that different perspectives. So what would you like to say to the people, the parents or the schools and in the organizations, for as a takeaway for them?
When we get sick, physically. We go to the doctor, and we don't hesitate to go to the doctor because we get fed up with this. I hope that young people or the people in general, parents, can also take their children when they feel that, and when they see that there is something not correct with the manner the children react, or the thing, or act. I I hope that parents can be aware that's meant that's when we go to the doctor for the physical health, but if the mental is also sick, we go to the specialists, the professional, uh, like coaches, like a psychologist or whatever, immediately and without waiting, because mine is not. It's just like it's just like the body. Until a certain age, the body stopped to grow, and the mind, it's the same, and it becomes like a fixed mindset, and it will be difficult for the people to change it. The parents that bring the children at early age can stop this fixed mindset, and then to form a flexible mindset. Carol Dweck used the term that fixed mindset and growth mindset.
Yeah.
I prefer to with this development of the era, it's a fixed mindset versus the flexible mindset.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and see, it's so true, Ibu. Nowadays, so many parents are talking about that the children are not even talking to them. That conversation or that channel has stopped. But it is an important way in which somebody they need to speak to someone, right? And the sooner you can break that, the barrier they have created, the better it is, as you said, to come to that flexible space and that flexible mindset. If we tackle it early, we'll have more success. And because our brain does change, we have the ability to unlearn and learn the new ways. But the sooner we do it, the better. Just like the bodily health, if you have that mental health or fitness, you're able to deal with a lot more things, and don't let it develop to that stage of it becoming a mental health issue. It can be prevented because coaching is a partnership. Really, you don't go into the past, and you don't look at traumas and this and that, but you're just providing that safe space for the person to open up and speak. And I think a lot of the youth need just that. Wonderful, Ibu. Thank you so much for this. I think there's lots of nuggets for everyone, and there's a lot of thinking that we also need to do, as we are all parents, and we have kids. So I think thank you. It's an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again.
Yeah, we talk about the next topic can be this kind of the cognitive distortion, which is
the cognitive. The cognitive. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yes, absolutely. All right, Ibu. All right. Thank you so much. And
okay, thank you for you too.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.